Hi, we're Richard and Jackie from Early Retirement Wanderlust.
And we are partway through our epic road trip around the Outer Hebrides.
And we are currently on the absolutely stunning Isle of Harris.
So we're currently on Horgabos Beach, which is just amazing. And even better, it's got a campsite just the other side of the sand dunes. It's not open at the moment because it is a working farm and it's lambing season, but it opens from the 1st of May. And if you do visit the Isle of Harris, this should definitely be on your list.
And if you do come in the summer, you definitely got to use it as a base because this beach is just absolutely pristine. It's a 2-minute walk from your tent or from your camper van. Get the paddle boards out, get the canoes out, and it's really, really safe in this calm environment and this beautiful beach.
I would recommend, if you want to stay, that I would book before you get here. The phone signal is much better than when we've been here previously, but we've arrived before now and we couldn't get phone signal, we couldn't ring the campsite, and you had to pre-book. So just make sure it's on your list and you pre-book.
Morning.
Morning.
You should probably see from the video of yesterday that our luck with the weather window has finally run out, and in the space of one day I think we had all the weathers.
And that definitely started with the ferry crossing. There was a huge storm just before we got onto the boat, which was lovely because there was a great big rainbow following us as we went across the sea. But yeah, it was quite a rough crossing.
They say up here, wherever there's a rainbow, there's always rain, and they're not too far wrong. And then it sort of brightened up miraculously, like the angels came out, and we were on Horgabost Beach and filmed the intro actually, and it was just absolutely stunning. And then 5 minutes later, we had the most monumental hailstorm, and we were hunkered down in the van for a good 30 minutes. It was absolutely mental.
It was. So we decided that we would, in this weather that was very changeable, go and find a lighthouse called Eileen Glass Lighthouse. Now, the only way to get to it is on a 2-kilometre hike across the moorlands. Why we decided to do that when there was such bad weather forecast, but actually we were quite lucky. We walked across the 2 kilometres. It was really wild and windy, but we didn't get wet. The lighthouse has a cafe and they do the most fantastic cakes. So we sat for about half an hour and it chucked it down, it hailed it down, and we just kept putting off coming back across the moorland to the van. But the heavens cleared again and we just about made it back to the van, and it started raining for about the last 20 metres. So we were really lucky.
And in answer to the question, why did we do the lighthouse? Of course, we did it for the cake because it was spectacular. And then we decided enough was enough and we needed to get to our camp for the night. So we started heading out all the way over to Houchiness, knowing that potentially we'd have to hunker down for 48 hours.
Now, when we've been to Houchiness before, it's a beautiful place, but it is a little bit of a honeypot of a destination for tourists. And we were a bit worried whether we would actually be able to find a camping spot for the night. And it's a long drive to get there. It's 15 miles, and you can actually get to the end of that road and there'd be absolutely no space to park or no space to stay. It was quite a nervous drive, but we got there, and the air that we had pinpointed to stay, which is a little bit higher than the community centre, which has electricity, was completely empty. So we quickly parked the van in, which did mean that when we went for a shower later, we did have the half a kilometre walk down the hill and back up the hill with wet hair to have a shower.
And that's where we are now. As Jackie said, it's a community-run facility, and the pricing structure is a little bit odd for where we are because we're on the top of the hill. Granted, it's a couple of minutes walk down to the showers and the toilets, but it's £20 for 24 hours, including electricity. Whereas if you go and park down by the community centre and by the beach, it's £20 overnight, and you also pick up another £5 charge for staying over the course of the day. So for us, we've stayed down there before and it's nice and peaceful up here. We've got no one with us at the moment and it's just wonderful.
After the previous 2 nights where we had stayed at Honesty Boxes in the middle of a field on cliff tops, we were in desperate need of showers, and that was one of the reasons we pinpointed going to Houchiness. They do have 2 showers there. They are great. It's £1 for 2 minutes. We did have to have a couple of pounds in each because we hadn't had showers for a couple of days. But Richard might want to tell you more about the facilities.
Let's go straight to Rate My Shower. Welcome to the Community Gateway facilities at Houchiness on Harris. Contemporary designed toilet, shower and recreation block. Showers operated by £1 coins. Really striking and contemporary fibreboard decor. Ample industrial hooks. A bench for sitting on and additional storage. A double width shower curtain, but well away from the shower. No fear of bodily contact. Modern and electrical shower offering thermostatic control in a spotless cubicle with the addition of a shower seat. Strengths include space, hot water and drainage. Areas for development are the temperature of the room and the cleanliness of this community facility. So an overall score of 40 out of 50 for the Houchiness Gateway facility on Harris.
And it is a great little community facility. Obviously, it's got the showers and toilets. It's got an outside toilet because they do shut the community centre overnight, so you've still got access to toilets. And there is a lovely community room that's got benches inside. So if the weather is really bad, you can just go and sit inside up until 8 o'clock at night and play board games and read in there away from the storms. It's also got a vending machine, so you can have a nice hot cup of coffee while you're in there.
And it's really well set up for motorhomers, so it's got a chemical dump point and it's got a water collection point, so it's got everything you would need. So that's all in with the chargers. Last night was a pretty wild night. We again had all the weathers coming in. We were on the top of the hill, but it's looking a lot brighter today and the forecast is pretty good. So hopefully it's going to buck up as the day goes on.
Yep, and we've got a really long hike planned. We are going to try and find all of the beautiful beaches of Houchiness. Morning, and just look at the weather. We were not expecting this. It was forecast to be a little bit sunny, a little bit cloudy and quite a bit rainy, but instead we've got blue sky days. We've decided to come down from the air and go for a walk. We've been to the main beach, which is by the community centre, but actually if you walk about 1 or 2 kilometres out the back of the beach, then there is the most beautiful, almost hidden beach. It's got white sands and the sea. You'll just see for yourself the colours of it as you go across to it. And usually it's really, really quiet. So we're going to head that way.
Was Trade Lane, and that was quite a beach. We are finding some absolute belters up here, and it's pretty much off the beaten path. The weather is so good now. We're going to carry on around the headland, and there is a hidden little cove that we're going to try and thread our way to. There's no footpaths there, but it looks like it should have all the conditions for being a perfect little beach.
Just look at this. We have got the beach to ourselves and it's sunny and it is fantastic.
Just a little shot of Jackie engaging in her favourite pastime of cow bothering. Particularly Highland cows are an issue. Morning.
So we've got up really early this morning. We are at the Eagle Observatory, which is on the road back from Hooshness towards Tarbert. And we wanted to go and see if we can spot any wildlife. And then we've got a busy day ahead.
It's meant to be a wonderful walk. Robbie Romes recommends it. It's only a mile up to the observatory and a mile back, and it's up a beautiful valley apparently. So we're always in for a good walk. A bit like yesterday.
Gosh, yeah, we had such an amazing day yesterday. We had a lovely sunny afternoon and we did a bit of a beach safari trek.
Yeah, one of the things about Scotland is that there aren't that many public footpaths and you tend to do a lot of trailblazing, and it was really hard in the end. We did, what was it? How
About
far?
13 kilometres?
About 13 kilometres, and yeah, the ankles and the knees are really sore, but absolutely worth it because the weather conditions were, and the light conditions were unbelievable. I was carrying a pack with all the waterproof gear because we just hadn't got a clue, and in reality we should have been going in shorts really because it was such a wonderful day. So today it's going to be a little bit of a quieter day, as Jackie said. We're going to do a little pootle up to this Eagle Observatory. We're then hopefully going to do a bit of a drive around quite a famous road on Harris, which is the Golden Road, and then we're on a campsite tonight, and we also need to stock up on food because the cupboards are bare. So that's our day, the exciting life of YouTube. Jackie, what's the final total on the wildlife spotting then?
Well, we saw 0 eagles, there were no red deer, and yeah, I don't actually think we saw any wildlife whatsoever, but it was a really pretty walk. Lots of people up by the Eagle Observatory waiting avidly, but I don't think they're coming out today.
I'm pretty sure you all know it, but life in the YouTube world is not always rainbows and unicorns, and sometimes things don't go to plan. Now, we've had a super drive down the Golden Road, but we can't share any of it with you because the light was completely in the wrong direction for filming and photography, so we're going to have to do that some other time. But it was a wonderful drive down here. So the way that we're going to make it up is we are going to cook one of our favourite dishes, which is paella on the Cadac outside. It's a little bit chilly, but you can't beat paella cooked low and slow outside, and it's just absolute comfort food at the end of a long day.
Thank you, Richard. It looks lovely. What a beautiful day we've woken up to. We stayed the night at Park Nearbost campsite, which is run by the West Harris Trust.
Yeah, and it's actually a proper campsite because the West Harris Trust run a lot of the Honesty Box parking spaces up and down the coast that are sort of impromptu, and there's no booking system involved in that, whereas this is a formal campsite that you have to book into, and it is really, really popular. We were really lucky a month ago to find one night that we could stay here because it's booked out throughout, and as predicted, it was jam-packed last night.
Yep, there's 7 spaces and all 7 were full. It's a great facility. It's got really good toilets and showers, but best of all, it's got a washing machine and tumble dryer, and I think that's probably only the second lot that we've seen on all of the islands so far.
And before we get too far into it, let's do a very quick and unusual Rate My Shower. Welcome to the Park Nearbost campsite on Harris. I have to mention an anti-Rate My Shower surveillance method using a unique hertz setting for their lights that caused a really annoying flicker on any video images I took. So for this Rate My Shower, there will only be still images. A rather clinical feel to porter cabin based facilities. A roomy self-contained shower cubicle, mirror, hand basin and toilet, along with the shower facilities, an automatic electric heater that was not activated, a solitary hook for clothes, a modern and efficient electric shower producing a good flow of hot water on demand. Not sure of the Caterpillar sticky mount for the shower head. This did disturb me a little. Inbuilt shelves for shower accoutrements. Good drainage and nice clean lines from the all-in-one shower unit. Overall strengths, cleanliness, hot water and drainage. Areas to develop, general hookage and shelving space outside the shower area. So an overall score of 42 out of 50 for the Park Nearbost campsite.
There are a couple of campsites that are run by the West Harris Trust along this coastal road. Both of them are £35 per night, which is a little bit more expensive than the other campsites that we've stayed at throughout the islands, but they are in a beautiful location.
It's got everything you would need from a good modern campsite. And today, the sun is out, we are set to go. We're going to have a slower day today. We keep saying that, don't we? But we are going to have a slower day. We are going to explore some of the beaches around here and then hunker down and just have a quiet night. So see how we get on. Watching this next bit of footage, I don't want you to think we're being lazy, but we've got to leave the campsite. But the beach that we're heading to is literally 2 minutes up the road. We could have walked there, but we've got to move the van off the campsite. We're not being lazy. So what is better than a stunning beach like this, I may hear you say? Well, a stunning beach with a Neolithic stone on a hill behind it. Jackie is absolutely delighted. We are going to go and see the MacLeod stone, which is around about 4,500 years old. It's meant to be the last stone of a stone circle that was left here. And interestingly, it was renamed in the 13th century after a really famous clan chief, not surprisingly, the MacLeods.
So we're currently at Scarista Beach, which is one of the most southerly ones on the Isle of Harris. It is probably one of our favourite beaches. We've been here in some atrocious weathers, but actually the worse the weather is on this beach, the better the photography. So last time we came, it was in November, it was really golden light, there was a storm blowing a hoolie, the waves were huge, but some of the photos that we got are just outstanding. We've got one printed that we used to have on our wall. How cool is this for a camping spot? It's one of the official spots that the West Harris Trust provide along the Luscantire Road, and it is absolutely stunning. You pay by text, it is £10, and there is an option to pay by PayPal, and we would highly recommend it.
Morning from a very sunny Luscantire beach. As you can see from yesterday, we had a cracking day, and to be fair, the day went downhill after the highlight of visiting the MacLeod stone. You know, life doesn't get much better than visiting a Neolithic stone, but we just managed to keep ourselves going over the course of the day, visiting various beautiful beaches.
We did. We found some stunning beaches, as you'll have seen from the video, and I think today we'll probably carry on that beach theme. We are going to have a bit of an explore and a wander around Luscantire Beach, and actually we are going to go and have a cup of coffee in the car park up by the Luscantire Beach car park, because we bumped into some of our subscribers that we've bumped into a couple of times actually, which would be quite nice.
It's really important to remember that there's no facilities there, so there isn't a cafe. We're having a posh coffee in their posh van, and we're really looking forward to it.
The car park by the Luscantire Beach is £10 to stay overnight in an honesty box, and as Richard said, there is toilet facilities, but just being careful that there are only so many bays to park in, and I think the locals get quite cross if you go up into the church car park, so just be aware of that.
So for the rest of the day, we're going to enjoy the blue skies. We're going to do a little bit more exploring of the wonderful beaches that are surrounding us at the moment. And then we've got a campsite booked. We've been wanting to go to Sealbost campsite for years, and we've just booked the last sort of remaining night about a month ago that we could get in. So we're really keen to go there. It's in the old schoolhouse. It's got a great location by the sea, and looking forward to that.
Yep, another quiet day, I think.
Bit windy out now, but quick geography lesson. We are currently wandering across to Luskentyre, so we were over there this morning. The tide's gone out completely. I'm still in shorts. It's absolutely blooming freezing, and Jackie is comfortably still in long johns and jeans, so that's giving away a few secrets.
So after a fantastic park up at the West Harris camping spot, we decided that we would head down to Luskentyre Beach. And that was actually a really great experience, mostly because we actually bumped into two of our subscribers that we keep bumping into along this trip, Deb and Dave. And they have got the most fantastic van, and we had a bit of a sneaky peek in it.
It was very high level van. It was, what you would probably call van porn. It had got everything in it, and it had also got a coffee machine in it as well, so we had the best coffee. So thank you, Debbie and Dave, for that. We also had the opportunity to catch Luskentyre Beach early in the morning before any crowds arrived. Not that there really are crowds on Luskentyre, but it was beautiful light, and it sort of set us up for the rest of the day. It was quite wild, it was blowing a hoolie, but some of these wide expansive beaches in those conditions are actually at their best.
Yeah, it makes the colours of the sea just pop. So we had a really lovely walk along Luskentyre Beach, but actually from there the weather seemed to go a little bit downhill.
Yeah, I was really excited about going to our next campsite, which was Sealbost campsite. It's based at the old school, and it is in a beautiful location on Sealbost Beach, and it basically overlooks tidal estuary across to Luskentyre. But it didn't really live up to expectations, probably because of the weather.
Oh no, it's definitely because of the weather. We just about made it to do a nice walk along the beach, and it was low tide, and we actually got pretty much all the way across to Luskentyre. I think we did a nearly 4-kilometre walk, and that was just across the sand dunes, and it was really beautiful, but gosh, it was blowing a hoolie. But by the time we got back to the van, the weather really did come in, and that was late afternoon, and we just spent the rest of the evening just catching up with admin and just hunkering down in the van because it was just so wild.
But we did manage to poke our nose out as the sun was setting, and wow.
Yep, they say every cloud has a silver lining, and our silver lining that night was being rewarded with the most beautiful red skies. It was like it was on fire. We didn't catch it in time to get down to the beach, so we just took a couple of photos from where we were, but it was just so beautiful. And yeah, it was still blowing a hoolie watching it, but it was stunning.
And Seal Boss campsite was an ideal place to just hunker down. We definitely needed a campsite on a day like that. It has got really good facilities, absolutely spotlessly clean. It was a tiny campsite run by the West Harris Trust. I think it's only got about 4 bays, all with electric hookup, and it's unmanned, so you just turn up and everything's done on security codes. But before we get on with anything else, I think it's really important to do a very quick Rate My Shower. Welcome to the Sea Boss campsite on Harris, a cavernous shower room with toilet and baby change facilities available. State-of-the-art shower cubicle in clean and modern surroundings. A heater, but a very big room to heat on a chilly April day. Modern sanitary ware, giving a home bathroom style feel. Good use of shelving space and a nice, well-illuminated mirror. A return of the push-button shower. Modern interpretation, however, with its inbuilt design limitations. No temperature regulation. It's worthy of note that when Jackie used the disabled shower facility, there was a normal standard shower in there which offered full temperature regulation. Overall strengths are space, cleanliness and shelves. Areas to improve, the lack of hooks and the temperature of such a large space. So an overall impressive score of 42 out of 50 for the Seal Boss campsite on Harris.
For such a small campsite, it did have great facilities. It had a laundry area so you could do your washing. The only thing that was a bit disappointing for us, we'd got there, we'd unpacked, we'd popped the roof, we'd got the van completely set up for the day. I went to do some washing and you have to pay by token and you have to get the tokens from the Tallanamara Community Centre. Not an issue, but I wasn't prepared to get everything packed down again to get to the community centre, so we didn't do the washing. Just a heads up, get the tokens before you get there. It's £35 a night, which it is good value for great facilities, and the location, if you were there on a sunny day, would have just been ideal. The next morning wasn't much better. We woke up, it was still blowing a hoolie, it was still chucking it down, the rain was just coming down horizontally. That is cold and wet. Trying to pack up the van was very interesting. Everything was just damp inside.
We did capture some video footage and I haven't yet reviewed it. We don't know whether we are going to put out a special video just on that one experience of living in a VW T6 campervan in really wet and miserable conditions, because we think that you probably need to see the reality of what life can be like when the weather turns sour.
But it was a good 24 hours.
But that brought the end of our Harris trip, which has been absolutely unbelievable, to a close. And we are now actually sat in the sun on Lewis and the next part of our adventure. But before we go, we just want to make another mention of the Outer Hebrides road trip by No Fuss Travel Guides, or more commonly known as Robbie Rome's guide. We've used this throughout our trip and we just love the format of it. It really cuts to the chase of the important places to go. It's really easy to navigate throughout it. It's got QR codes in, so you're not having to hunt for places. It just will take you straight there on Google Maps. We've also used the full-size road trip map as well, which is really useful, particularly the other day when we didn't have any phone signal and we just needed to see where this particular road was going. So that was really useful. Robbie has been really good and offered out a promotion code to our subscribers. If you go to the No Fuss Travel Guides website, and I'll put a link somewhere above there, and when you add a book and a map to your basket and then enter the code Wanderlust, you will get the map for free and you will also get free postage and packing. So we would recommend these. We are also going to be doing a trip in Wales very, very shortly where we're going to use the book as a guide for where we're going then. The code and the offer should work for any No Fuss travel guides, so feel free to follow the link. But that's it from us. We are about to set off on a lovely sunny day on Lewis, and we will catch you next week. See you later. Bye.
Bye.